What is up, everyone? Welcome to Oculus Prime. I know what you're probably thinking. This is not the type of video we would get from Oculus Prime, and you're right. Normally we do the Oculus gaming videos, which is where we get our name from. We also have the sports card rips. But I recently purchased a motorcycle. It's not my first bike, but we decided to try the motovlogging scene and try and get into that. So this is our first video for that. And honestly, we don't really know what direction we want to go with this. The whole reason I bought the motorcycle was actually so that I could kind of go on some trips with it. Like, I want to ride through the Great Smoky Mountains, and I'd like to, be able to visit places on the bike. But I also know that, videos like that would just get boring. Like, no one wants to sit there for 30 minutes and watch me ride a motorcycle. Well, maybe they do, but I feel like that audience is very, very, very small. I am by no stretch a gear guy when it comes to motorcycle stuff. There are people out there who rate gear and give you recommendations on what to buy and what not to buy, and I cannot do that for you. I can give you my personal opinion on my own gear and the things that I wear and use. I can tell you about those and what my thoughts are on them. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to go to like Revzilla and get like 5 different sets of handlebar grips and give you the pros and cons to each set. Like I said, I'll give you my personal opinion on the stuff that I'm wearing or that I use. But really, I mean, we could use this channel for so many things. Like, we could do motivational Mondays, or fantasy Fridays, and talk about the new Star Wars stuff or whatever. There's a lot of different routes that we can go. I already have a couple ideas for some videos, and those will be posted shortly after this one is. But for starters, yeah, this is just our intro. Like I said, this isn't my first bike. My first bike was a 2007 Honda Shadow Ace. So it kind of had like a bigger feel to it, but it was a 750cc bike. Great beginner bike. It was an amazing beginner bike. I wish I still had the bike. Without going into too much detail, basically, I tried to join the Army, and they said thanks, but no thanks. And it was in that process when I sold the bike, because I didn't think I was going to be able to use it. And after the Army said poo-poo on you, I decided I wanted to get another motorcycle. So I went down to my local Honda dealership, and I saw this beautiful blue CBR 650F, and caught my eye right away. Took it for a test drive. I was on the road maybe 20 minutes, had a ball test driving that bike, and pretty much went back to the dealership and said, take my money. After having that bike for a few years, I realized I didn't really like it that much. Sport bikes are great bikes. I'm not dissing sport bikes or saying one particular style of motorcycle is better than another. It literally depends on you, the rider. I am a relaxed kind of guy. I like to just sit back, take it all in, that kind of thing. So the Cruiser is definitely my kind of bike. But the sport bike thing, I wasn't comfortable. Like, not that I wasn't confident. I was confident in riding that motorcycle, but I wasn't comfortable while riding. I like to go out for an extended period of time on the bike, and being on a sport bike like that for an extended period of time, I felt it, and I felt it hard, like in the wrists, in the shoulders, in the back. It just it didn't suit my preferences. That's all. So I sold it, and I went for a really long time without a motorcycle. And every time I saw one on the road, I was always like, man, I wish I could get back into it. And just on a whim, I started searching around. I wasn't really looking to buy a bike. I wasn't like, I want to buy a motorcycle, like, where's a bike that I can buy? But I was just looking, seeing if there was one out there that was in my price range, that had what I wanted, and lo and behold, we come across this baby. So this is a 2008 Kawasaki Vulcan Nomad. It's a 1600cc bike. It is the biggest bike I've ever owned, obviously, because I already told you about my other two. But I love this bike. There are things that I didn't know this bike had when I went to look at it that have just made it that much better. Like, this is a 2008 foreign bike with self-canceling turn signals. Like, that is, at least in my experience, pretty rare. Typically, like, you didn't get that stuff unless you were getting like a Harley or one of those like higher end models. So to get that on an affordable, we'll call it affordable motorcycle, like, that's great for me. The windshield is incredible. It's not too high, it's not too low. It's like the perfect height for me, which, I mean, it is adjustable, and I have it set to the highest setting right now. It's got extra large lockable saddlebags on it that are painted to match the black and red paint scheme. And I can do like a full walk around of the bike. We'll just do a whole video of what's on the bike, what it came with, what I've added, what I've changed. In front of me, you see the speaker here. This is a Kuryakin Road Thunder 300 watt speaker, and this thing gets loud. I mean, it booms. Like, I could be going down the highway with just my sun visor down and this visor up at a little bit over highway speeds, and I can still hear the thing. It's great. So, little backstory. For those of you who don't know, which I'm assuming most of you don't, because it hasn't really been put out there, but Oculus Prime, the channel, it's comprised of two people, myself and my friend J-Mart. And we work together. We are work colleagues. But we decided to put this channel together just on a whim, pretty much. And it took off. I mean, you guys have been absolutely great. The support that we are getting from you guys, the comments that are just flooding in. So me and J-Mart, we are from the Cincinnati, Ohio area. So just a couple of dudes who like video games and sports and motorcycles. Well, J-Mart likes the sports. I am not a sports guy by any means. I grew up watching the Cincinnati Bengals. I know, I'm sorry. But you can't hate too much. They're doing pretty well from what I can see. But J-Mart is a huge sports guy, loves everything sports. I never got into it, but at the same time, I've got a motorcycle, he doesn't. So, I mean, who's cooler, really? Anyway, I think that about wraps it up for this first video. Like I said, this is more of an intro, just kind of easing you guys into it, letting you know that this is a step that we're taking. Obviously, if there's anything that you guys want to see, like, If you want me to just ride around Cincinnati so you can see Cincinnati, we'll do that. Like I said, I've got a couple ideas for some videos, but I'm not going to post those until this one's up. But yeah, if you guys want to see anything, leave it down in the comments. If you have any questions, I'm going to do my best to answer them. I'm not a know-it-all motorcycle person. I don't know everything about every bike. I just enjoy the ride, you know? So, anyway, I'm going to head home now because I'm hungry and it's dinner time. So, until next time, Oculus Prime, signing off.